Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Yale versus Columbia college basketball matchup on Monday, January 15th, 2024. Of course, if you like all the free picks we do at Pick Dawgz, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text the number you see on the screen. These are not available on the website. But let's get to this one. Yale taking on Columbia. It's the Ivy League on Monday action, and Yale 10-6 on the season, Columbia 9-5 and 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games. I think a lot of stigma here around the Columbia, who has been a terrible team for a very, very long time. Of course, Yale generally comes up big around tournament time, and we've seen them when they make it to the NCAA tournament, usually a team that nobody wants to face. Yale generally also schedules big out of conference, so it's a team that we've become pretty familiar with. When we look at the recent meetings of these two teams, Columbia actually won one of the two meetings last year. That was the one at Columbia where they won 62-60 as a 14.5 point dog. When we look at what Columbia has done recently, they've lost two of their last three, and the only game that they won in that bunch was an unlined game. But when you look a little further back, win over Fairleigh Dickinson, not all that bad. A bunch of losing mixed in, but some nice wins against Maine and a win against Temple, at Temple as well, and in typical Columbia fashion, as a gigantic underdog. We look at Yale. Well, they've started the Ivy League season off just right, beating Brown. They'd beaten Howard and Santa Clara prior to that. Lost against Kansas, but covered the spread in that spot. Also lost to Vermont earlier this season. It's once again a good Yale team, mostly on the offensive side. But to me, the surprising thing here more is Columbia, who really can hit from the outside, shooting 38.8% from the perimeter, shooting 42% from the floor. So the Columbia offense has certainly picked it up a notch. The Yale defense is respectable, and like I mentioned, they played Kansas and some other schools, so that's always going to be in the mix. But Columbia guards the perimeter well and guards the floor pretty well. And Yale is the better team in this matchup. I don't think there's really any question about that. But I think when we look at this game in particular, getting all these points with Columbia based upon the stigma just seems like a wonderful place to be. I don't think I've ever said that about a Columbia game. I think also when you look at the offensive boards, I think Yale does a decent job there, but not really overmatching Columbia too much in that respect. But when you look at the defensive boards, well, that's all Columbia, and I think that overall rebounding, I like the way Columbia does that as well. I'm going to take Columbia in the points in this one. That's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.